Probably noticed the work on sidewalks and curbs underway in the city of Mobile.
It's good news for everyone, especially those who rely on a walker or a wheelchair to get around. Ask someone who does, and they'll likely tell you it's not enough.
That's exactly what Local 15's Darwin Singleton did in tonight's reality check.
The distance between the surface of the street and the sidewalk is usually no more than 6 inches. You probably never think about that, do you?
But that small measurement can be a big problem if you're someone like Addie Ray.
When I was young, I would use a walker, but I would be so exhausted when I came home from school that my mom eventually said we put her in her wheelchair.
Addie Ray was born premature, and because of complications, she developed cerebral palsy, which prevented her from walking on her own. But with the help of her mom, she carried on, graduating with honors from Davidson High School. She even attended the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa for 2 years. Well, she's back in Mobile now and working hard to start her own business. She wants to be a consultant for other businesses about what is required of them to comply with ADA. That's the Americans with Disabilities Act.
It's professional respect. You, as a news anchor, you have professional respect. I would like professional respect as a consultant.
This all started out as a story about Addie's personal plans for her future. But when she arrived at Cathedral Square for our interview, well, I asked Addie and her mother, Barbara, if they had any trouble parking. And that is when our story took a different turn.
The nearest curb cut had a fire hydrant right next to it. And of course, you can't block a fire hydrant.
A fire hydrant by a handicapped parking space? Before we explore this further, let me make clear that the city has been busy investing more than $1 million retrofitting our sidewalks to make them more handicapped accessible. No doubt you've seen these curb cuts, and Addie and Barbara appreciate that. They really do. However,
this is a handicap space. It is less than 25 feet away from a fire hydrant.
Ooh.
So that's a ticketable offense.
And because there's no curb cut by the car, the difficulty for Addie to get from the car to her wheelchair is greater. There is a curb cut, but
the break in the sidewalk is 20 feet away.
It's here.
It's here. And so I couldn't drop her off on the corner because this is a one-way street going the other way.
So this was not well planned.
Not even a little.
good intentions, just not well executed. Thank goodness that's the only example. Well, no, because 1 block away.
Here's the handicap space. Here's the bus stop.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I never even noticed that. So if you park here.
And there's a fire hydrant.
And no cut in the sidewalk to allow for a wheelchair to get next to the car door. The nearest cut for that is up the street by the fire hydrant.
I'd have to park on the corner and block that road, and then pull up and park here, and block the bus stop, and then
be in front of the fire hydrant.
And be in front of the fire hydrant, and there you go.
Wow.
We did notice that there is no longer a bus stop sign where the bus bench and umbrella is located, so maybe it's no longer being used as a bus stop. So it's driver beware. And even as we were doing our interview, we noticed another handicap space down the street, but it was blocked by a long beer delivery truck because the loading zone spot is right beside the handicap spot.
This is what it's like,
Addie says she's seen it all, and she's ready to offer that knowledge to businesses to help them become handicap compliant and possibly avoid tens of thousands of dollars in federal fines. Perhaps Addie's first client could be the city of Mobile.
Well, this morning I met with Dawn Rose, who is the city's coordinator when it comes to complying with the Americans with Disabilities Act. I showed him the parking spaces and asked what could be done to make them better. Well, he couldn't make any immediate promises, but does say right now the entire downtown parking situation is being evaluated, and the needs of those with disabilities are part of that equation. He says last year alone the city installed more than 200 curb cuts and repaired or modified 66,000 feet of sidewalk to make them come into ADA compliance. And Rose tells me the needs of the disabled are being very much included into the design of the new Broad Street makeover and 3 Mile Creek Greenway. As for the parking spaces we showed you, he encourages those with disabilities and handicap placards to use them if they can, fire plugs and all. I'm Darwin Singleton, Local 15 News.
Yeah, if you've been downtown, you've probably seen Addie. She will make a great consultant.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. Well, if you have a story you want us to investigate or an issue that needs to be addressed by our advocacy team, let us know. We'll get you answers.
Yeah, call our Reality Check hotline. The number's 877-315-7268.